It's Gunnar. Gunnar, how are you feeling after that win?
It felt like a loss, but you know, I'm here now.
How concerned were you guys after the way game one went? Was it like panic stations?
I think no one like verbally panicked. I was annoyed about some stuff that happened in the first game, and I voiced it, and I felt good. I think people were we're like all anxious, I think, as a team, because like we have to wait till tomorrow, you know, about this whole game. So everyone, because that's kind of all on their mind, and so I don't know, we're just kind of waiting at this point.
So do you think it was a little bit of sort of you guys were unsettled going into game one, a little bit nervous about the way things might pan out? And obviously the season you had, you're thinking, it can't end like this. Come on, lads, we've got to win this series. Yeah,
also we finished boot camp, so now Costa's back in Brazil. So he like, I think we calculated his ping's like 17 times what it was when he was here. And I'm now on West Coast, so now I have like 70 ping. And so we're all kind of getting used to being not at boot camp again.
Right.
So I think that's kind of why it was a little shaky.
So in game two, which was the one where we thought, oh my God, they're actually going to lose this series. What was the turnaround moment for you guys in that game? Because we had our own ideas, but I'd love to hear from you what you thought was the moment where you thought, okay, actually, we're pulling it back, lads. This is the start of it.
I could feel we were getting really stressed. I think no one was like verbally saying they're stressed, but the way sometimes people talk, you can tell like they're getting worried, and people ask way more questions. Because when your team is winning, generally no one will ask questions. They'll be like, "We're doing this. Come here. You do this with me. Come to me." You know, like statements. People are telling people what to do. And in games where it's like hard, people are gonna be like, "Guys, what should we do? Where should we go?"
Right.
And there's a lot of questions, and they're like, "Guys, what's our timing to fight?" And pretty much, I think I got my Mjollnir, and I said, "Okay, guys, the fight is we kill Wyvern and Razor." And then there was silence for like 3 seconds, and then Husky goes, "Okay, Wyvern, Razor, Herd." And then after that, I think we literally just won every single fight right after that.
Yeah.
We just like that kind of like got us all back on track, and every fight we found the Wyvern and we kind of just won.
Yeah, you guys found him consistently at the start of the fight, blew him up, and we were like, man, what is happening here? But that seemed to be the turnaround for you guys, right?
Was the Mjollnir timing the same time as you guys deciding to do the tier 2 bot defense? Because from our perspective, that's when it looked like, okay, it was the same timing.
Yes, it was. My bear died mid because I messed up, and they kept like forcing my bear. So my bear dies, and then I farmed a Mjollnir, and then we went and instantly fight because my bear respawned. I had Mjollnir. Costa was like, "Should we wait for a second bear?" And then we're like, "We can't wait 2 minutes for another bear.
We're
going with one bear. We're losing the game." Yeah, so we just went.
Because you kind of took them by surprise. I know the caster said that normally you wouldn't defend the tier 2, but you guys came out, won that fight. That did feel like a big turnaround for you guys in the game.
Yeah, the Dawn just like showed, and we had vision of the Wyvern for a second, so we knew he couldn't freeze or anything. And the Zeus is just like a lot of damage. So the Zeus just gives us vision of the Wyvern, so we can jump him, and he just makes sure the Dawn dies in the jump.
And he can't blink away, of course, yeah.
Yeah, after they lose one fight, I think the game starts getting really hard.
And then how about them returning to the well of Nico's Kunkka? I think game one, you guys looked a little bit confounded by the tidal waves and stuff like that. Then game two, you start to understand like good ways to play around it. And then game three, it seemed like Lifestealer was just the solution. Obviously, I imagine that 5red were hoping to have their whole 5-man roster, but were you at all surprised by Nico's play in the series?
No, I'm pretty sure, well, our coach was annoyed because we got told who the players were like 10 minutes before the game started.
Ooh.
That they were going to use a stand-in. So then he's like finishing all the prep. He's like, okay, these are going to be our bands. This is probably what all their players play. Like, this is what they've been saying in the pubs. And then we see a message in the Discord. I'm like, hey, Mangusu, I don't mean to cut you off, but one of their
all that little Nick research. Throw it in the trash.
Now off lane, and they have a new mid player. And he goes, are you kidding me? And then, so then he was like, yeah, I think this guy's just going to play Kunkka. So we like knew he was going to play Kunkka. But after the first game, Zach said, guys, we should buy BKBs, and I think we'll win. When we purchased BKBs in the second and third game. And then, yeah, it's kind of easier. BKBs are a pretty good item, I think.
Pretty good item.
It's on the record.
It is. Mira, do you have any questions?
Yeah, a couple. So just out of curiosity, how are you guys feeling going into the series? Like, were you anxious? Because you did mention some anxiety as the series progressed, but like going in, did you guys think that you'd be taken to 3 games?
I think the issue was that, like, I mean, for me personally, and probably maybe some of my teammates, I don't want to speak for them, but it's like a lot of, we're like talking about this like game tomorrow, and like we have to prepare for tiebreakers or no tiebreakers. So it's like hard to focus on the game today when there's like so much on stake later. Even though I think Moo and Zach kept repeating, like, guys, we have to focus on the 5-rack game. We can't think about anything besides this game because this is the first step. But for me personally, it wasn't a sense of like worrying about this game itself. It's the game as like what it means for everything.
I see. And I'm not sure if you can answer this. You probably can. But how come you guys cut your boot camp short early? Was it financial restrictions, or did people not want to be away from home for too long?
I think it just ended up that like we thought it'd be best that we didn't go too long, because I know like Moo thinks that boot camps, if they go too long, can hurt teams. And so we wanted to go just over 2 weeks because it kind of encapsulated all the big matches at the time, which was like Quincy Crew and TSM. And we thought we weren't like worrying about tiebreakers, potential tiebreakers, and having to be at boot camp. So I think also everyone was it was getting to the point where we got what we needed out of the boot camp. I think the TSM was like over the peak of the boot camp, gameplay wise.
Yeah. Okay, but now that you've played in that boot camp environment and you guys have gone back and played from home, like, what are your overall thoughts on it? Do you think you perform better as a team when you're together in the same room, or do you think maybe the lessons you learned in those couple of weeks were enough?
I think we definitely played better, but the way I see boot camp, for me, it's a kind of playing on a team is like a roller coaster. Like, you'll get better, you'll learn stuff, and then you'll get worse because you have to learn so much stuff. But then you'll actually get good at the stuff you learn, and you'll get better. And when you're at boot camp, just everything's more extreme. It's like your lows will be lower because now when one guy's sad, he can't just go, in his own home and be sad. Now he has to be sad around your whole team, and then your whole team will be sad. Or you have to go, you get like 2 out in scrims, and you all have to go eat lunch together, and you're all just kind of sitting there like, yeah. But then on the upside, like you learn way more. We talked about Dota probably like 16 hours a day minimum. Like, we just be talking about Dota all day, every day. And so the other extreme is that we get way better, way faster. We work together way better. And so I think ideally I want to play at a boot camp, but you can't just play at a boot camp all year.
Got it. I mean, that makes sense for sure. It also sounds a little bit depressing, but it feels like you guys have a good read on it.
More highs than lows. There are more highs than lows.
More highs than lows. Got it.
That's good to hear.
The last question is basically, I have to ask. So, a couple of times this tour, you guys did end up picking something unusual on Kusabali. It's kind of your identity in the team. I feel like you're the unusual hero player, but I want to know how that happens, where you guys kind of theory craft something like carry Enchantress or carry Pudge, and what that discussion is like.
Usually I'm the one I just have to go to Mood to be like, pick me this, it's good, and he'll be like, no. But for the side laners, they'll kind of just all talk to each other because they worry about lanes way more than I do. I don't even care about lanes, and everyone makes fun of me for it because they also make the same jokes. Like, mid lane's really easy to kind of just go like 45-55 in like the worst matchup possible, and it doesn't really matter if you lose the lane. And so they always worry about their lane. So a lot of their discussion just come from like making sure our lanes are strong enough and finding heroes that are strong in lanes. And that's probably where a lot of the heroes come from, just talking about making sure they're strong enough in the lanes. And then there's times where we'll sometimes like overvalue a hero or undervalue a hero. And I think that's when it looks bad. But I think when we value like properly, it's good.
Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Gunnar. Congratulations on the series win. And of course, we wish you guys all the best. I'm sure we'll be watching the game tomorrow with bated breath.
Hopefully you don't see me again here. But
In Arlington, we might see you.
Yeah, but not on DPC.
Not on DPC. You're done.
All the best. Thank you for talking to us, Gunnar. Take it easy.
Thank you.